Time now for Back Pages tonight here on Sky Sports News, bringing you a first look at the sports stories in the morning's newspapers. Joining us for the show are Charlie Wyatt, football journalist with The Sun and the Daily Telegraph's chief football correspondent Jason Birch. Welcome along to you both. Let's quickly run through those back pages. And there's also news of a fresh blow for Newcastle United in the Alexander Isac saga. Welcome along again to Charlie and Jason. Let's start with the Telegraph then, and the Alexander Isac saga. It just goes on and on. Charlie and Jason. Jason, let's start with you. Look, it's a matter of days to go until this window closes, and we are still talking about this Alexander Isac saga. How does it end for you?
Oh, that's the $1 million question, or the £150 million question, isn't it, really? But I'm not sure is the answer. I think the key to this is from the statement last week from Newcastle, so the conditions haven't been met for the sale. And there are two clear conditions. One is to sign the replacements for Alexander Isac and also Callum Wilson, and for the fee they want to be reached as well. And at this point in time, we're very far away from both of those two things happening. And with less than a week to go, it means that it's less and less likely that he will leave. I think even more than the fee, I think it's getting the replacement sorted out, and that just hasn't happened for Newcastle. They have been trying, which shows that they are willing to trade. I know there's been talk of them sort of saying they're not going to sell come what may, but I think there has been an acceptance that if they can get the right sort of conditions, then they would accept the deal, although I think they'll still try and insist on £150 million. So to cut a long story short, at the moment, I think he's still staying.
Charlie, Jason says at the moment staying, but with time running out in this window for both Newcastle and Liverpool. And Jason made the point about trying to bring in replacements. Just first of all, your view on how you think this will end. Do you think he will still be a Newcastle United player come, 7 p.m. it is, isn't it, on deadline day next Monday?
I think it's looking more that way. And as Jason said, it's difficult to get one top player at a Premier League club and everything that goes into a big transfer. But to get two real key players in at a club, it's going to be a hell of a task for Newcastle to do that. And obviously we're going to need Liverpool to, look to increase their bid, 110. It was silly really that they bid that amount, because obviously it was never going to be accepted. Obviously clubs often start with a low bid, but that was 3 weeks ago. Liverpool aren't willing, it seems, to go anywhere near £150 million. That's what Newcastle want. So at the moment we're going around in circles, we're not going anywhere, and we've got a player that I think it's not a surprise that Isac's dug in, because I think he had to, particularly the statement he's made not that long ago. So I'm not surprised, having met some of the club officials, that he's decided to refuse to play. But there's going to come a time he's got to realise that it's going to be increasingly unlikely that Liverpool are going to get near Newcastle's valuation. But of course, Newcastle getting two key players in. So the longer we go, this cycle continues, the more likely at some stage we're going to see Alexander Isak playing for Newcastle again, but certainly not this weekend.
It will be interesting. Jason, just picking up on those potential replacements for Eddie Howe and Newcastle United. They have tried, haven't they? Liam Delap, João Pedro they went for. Hugo Ekitike, in a way, he's actually made it more difficult for Liverpool to get Alexander Isak because he ended up going to Liverpool. Benjamin Sesko they tried to get as well. Are the replacements out there? I mean, some could argue that they've had a bid rejected by Wolves for Jurgen Strand-Larsen, and he looked half decent in their game against West Ham United earlier on today. Are they actually out there of the requisite quality to replace someone like Isac?
No,
if he does stay, there'll be a few issues for him, but if and when he does play, if and when he starts playing really well and starts scoring again, certainly short term, the fans will be back on his side. If the same is giving everything, comes back, really knuckles down, and we've seen it whether, Raheem Sterling, Berbatov, been so many players that have, not got the move that they wanted. Of course, then often they go the next season, then we have to see whether, Newcastle managed to give him the money that he wanted in the first place. So, while a brilliant support base at Newcastle, all fans are fickle, and if they see a player scoring goals for them, soon have him back on their side.
A little bit of breaking news this afternoon, that is that TalkSport understands that Alexander Isac has reiterated his desire to leave the club during a meeting with the club bosses this week. You made a very good point to all of us on our WhatsApp group last night when the game was on, and you said something along the lines of the owners to just go, you ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I really like that stance. It takes absolute balls, because you are literally cutting off your nose, spite your face, and it's £100 million minimum cut off of a nose.
Exactly.
And I just don't know if football clubs can afford to do that, to turn their noses up at so much money. But you are right, it does need a club to say, listen, we run things.
Yeah.
You'll go when we decide you can go, and you ain't going anywhere.
No.
In a World Cup year, I just wonder what effect that will have on him.
Exactly that. And also as well, you say you're not going anywhere, and also for himself, if you say that, then he knows. Then all of a sudden now his mindset will have to change. And also, it's an uphill battle, by the way, but he's have to get back in that team when they really need him now. Because you think about it, no Joe Linton, don't know how long that's going to be. So there's Shah with a concussion, Anthony Gordon with a 3-game suspension, Tonali. A lot of your best players now are struggling with fitness. They need him. So if Newcastle came out and go, right, listen, we're telling you now, this window you are not going. Like, we're not sending you in this window. We're not sending you in January. End of the season, a different conversation. But right now, this season, you're not going anywhere. His mindset will have to change. He can't come with that stance, I'm not going to play for you again.
No.
Because he needs to play football.
He has to play, right?
Yeah.
Do you think if a club in Newcastle in this scenario, do you think if they do come out and say, you're not going anywhere, if it takes a week or 2 weeks or a month or 2 months, there will be a moment where it's back to normal?
It'll never be back to normal. But he'll have to get himself in that mind state where he's like, right, World Cup year, I need to be playing football. Because he's already behind in terms of his fitness anyway. Because he hasn't played much, hasn't been training with the team. So it's going to take him a couple of weeks to get going. So that's another thing in itself. So he needs to resolve the situation sooner rather than later.
Okay. But we're going to start the show talking about Alexander Isac. Do you want him to go? The question is, should he be allowed to go? That brings everyone in. Because I say no. I say Newcastle as a club should put their foot down. They hold all the cards, right?
Yeah.
It's a big decision to make. Very gutsy. Very few clubs have got the kahunas to do it.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Newcastle make a stand and go, you're not going anywhere till we say.
Yeah.
Newcastle fans and football fans, how do you think this scenario should be played out? We've only got a few days left of the transfer window. What should happen next? I don't really know how this ends, because despite this statement, Newcastle have since insisted they will not sell, and that he is welcome to rejoin his teammates when he's ready. But what's happening? Where are we going with this? How will this end?
Well, I think it ends with if Liverpool stump up the money, because Liverpool are kind of the defining factor. If they want him and they're prepared to pay the money for him to get him out of this nightmare, then they'll pay the money. But if they're saying they haven't physically got the 150 million to buy Newcastle want 150 million, then he's going to have to stay where he's at. Now, if he does that, then he's have to eat a lot of humble pie. His teammates will be fine with him, because it's one of those things, transfers happen in football clubs. I'm sure he'll be having a laugh and a joke with some of his teammates who he's close to in the dressing room, asking him what's going on. There'll be some players in the dressing room that maybe don't quite agree with the way he's gone about it, but will still treat him with respect, even though he hasn't really treated them with respect. But it comes down to it, at some point, if the window shuts and he's still at Newcastle United Football Club are better with him. So he has to play. So yes, he's going to have to eat humble pie. It's going to be rough for the first couple of weeks, maybe for a little while. But how do you eradicate that? You start scoring goals straight away. They won't never forget it, and they'll cheer you when you score and all that, but they may never sing his name again. But
I think they will sing it.
No, they won't. They'll never sing his name again.
If he scores a winning goal in a cup final,
they're never going to sing his name again. They'll cheer him when he scores goals and things, but they'll never sing his name because of what he's done to them. What he's done to them, they'll never sing his name. Do you know what my only thing, right, is that I get it. He wants to go to Liverpool. I fully understand that, right?
you've got to understand
Right.
it.
If you're playing for a team near the bottom of the table or mid-table that have got not in Europe, not so much no ambition, but bottom to the table.
Name 'em.
No, I'm just going to say near to the bottom.
Name
of
'em.
the
Name 'em.
table.
Why can't you give me
No,
a
because I've got to give him my thing. Right, so near the bottom of the
Almost.
table. Right, is it?
Almost.
Right, is it? No, because they had a good season last year.
West Ham?
No, because Jared Bryan says defeats the purpose. Just let me talk.
Right.
So, if you're at a team that's not in Europe and you're kind of near the bottom and you've had 2 unbelievable seasons and Liverpool come in, I get it. You'd be kicking and screaming. I fully understand it. But Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? Like, you don't get moved. You stay at Newcastle. They're in the Champions League. 57,000 every single week. They absolutely love you. You're treated almost.
There's a big.
I get it. But my point is,
You don't get it.
no, I do get it.
You don't because Liverpool.
I get it, but still, you're at a huge football club.
No, but you want to be at Liverpool.
I get it, but my point is, I don't think you had to go to these levels.
No, he's done it wrong.
Yes, you're at Newcastle. You're in the Champions League.
He's done it wrong, but you can totally understand why he wants to go.
Yeah, but they look at him like not Shearer, but he's in that type of conversation where they absolutely love him, right? You're at Newcastle. They're in the Champions League. There's no need to like go as extreme as he's done.
He's gone nuts.
Like, if he could have said, "Listen, I want to go to Liverpool, but for the respect to Newcastle, I'm going to keep playing.
Yeah,
I'm going to
if
get
it happens, you're totally
Do you know
right.
what I mean?
He's done it so
like,
bad.
like he's not a club that are struggling.
No, but I do feel that a lot of foreign players do that. I know you did. But a lot of foreign players, almost like they don't understand the love and the connection between the fans and the players.
Yeah, maybe, but I just think.
Or maybe that's nonsense. Maybe we've seen it.
To go that extreme when you're at a club who's in the Champions
done it
League,
wrong.
that idolise you is a bit weird.
Yeah. Listen, Liverpool fans, I want to hear from you.
I promised you breaking news. Here it is. Vinny O'Connor, deliver it.
Alexander Isak is officially a Liverpool player. Alexander Isak is Liverpool's new number 9. They've confirmed it officially now. He has signed in a British record transfer of £125 million, and he has signed a 6-year contract with Liverpool.